Every man has already died, and the women left to pick up the pieces of a dying world have done nothing. Countries still fight, greed still controls, and desperation for an answer causes groups to rise, inflicting terror on the humanity that's still left. But with triumph comes hope in the man of Yorick. This is part 2, and if you haven't seen the latest video and are too lazy to watch it, here is what you missed in the comic Y: The Last Man. We meet Yorick and his male monkey, and he is the last man on Earth. All the men being wiped out by some type of plague. But it's not just all men, anything with a Y chromosome, which makes it especially weird that they both survived. He goes to his mother, who is a congresswoman, and she assigns an agent, Agent 355 in specific, to take him to a clone specialist and expand the human race. The cloning lady, Dr. Mann, who resides in Boston. They make their way to Boston and run into some Amazons who is a man-hating group and believes everything happened for a reason. They have a confrontation, and we later learn that Yorick's sister, Hero, is a part of this group. They reach Boston and meet Dr. Mann in her lab, but while they were away, Israel's soldiers burned down the laboratory, leaving the only place with the correct materials in California. With our group, Yorick, Agent 355, and Dr. Mann needing to make it over there to save the human race. And now we can get to volume 2 of Y: The Last Man. So we pick up right where we left off, with Yorick attempting to board a train heading west. The train is at max capacity, but Yorick uses the motorcycle they acquired from the Amazons to trade it for a ride. But there's a catch. They gotta ride with the pigs. Ew. We get a little wholesome moment about how Dr. Mann is an unk, she mad old, and we learn that she has some parenting issues, so she actually switched her last name. I don't really think it's important though, so just forget it. We cut to Hero, and immediately my vibe is ruined, and they are just like savage dogs that need to just be in the cage. Hero is fighting someone because they looked at her the wrong way. She's acting out because in the last volume she straight up murdered an innocent girl, and then Victoria gives her extra rations and she just starts breaking down crying, saying I love you and stuff. Like, girl, if you don't get it together, you did this. You're a disgrace. But then the vibes are returned at once when we go back to Yorick and the homies. They're just chilling, having fun, and Yorick pulls out the amulet of Helen that belongs to Agent 355. Now, if you don't remember, the amulet was removed from its land and said to cause a catastrophe if done so. Agent taking it anyways. And immediately, a couple girls jump aboard wanting this amulet. Now, this does make me think it caused the death of everyone, but I feel like that's a little bit too easy. But they have a little standoff, and Agent is about to put the beats on these guys. Not before Yorick just signs his death wish and turns into Prime Ray Lewis, straight up tackling her out the moving cart. And the worst part is, he missed. You can't be serious. He had a full bear hug around her. Agent 355 easily cleans it up, knocking the girls out, and they jump out of the moving train to go get Yorick. We go back to Hero and Victoria, and two girls are informing the leader Victoria on information of where men could be. One of them said space, and she just laughs it off, and the other says a man in a gas mask with a monkey went to a train yard. Hero immediately knowing that it was probably her brother. Later on, Victoria and Hero end up capturing a girl with the same motorcycle Yorick sold in the beginning of the volume. All the while, Yorick is knocked out in Marysville, Ohio. A nice looking lady stumbles upon him and takes her to her town where he can get some medical attention. Meanwhile, Agent 355 landed on a rock. Dr. Mann asking if she's okay. Something tells me she's not okay. Yorick finally awakens and sees this lady and is appalled, and then we just see straight cheeks. I don't want to see that. They speak, and she seems to be a nice person, and they seem to have a little bit of chemistry. While Agent 355 and Dr. Mann are in the midst of no man's land, while Agent clings on to her life, giving Dr. Mann a gun to find Yorick and get him out of any trouble. Meanwhile, Yorick is having a jolly good time. I mean, he's basically a celebrity in this place. This town is a pocket of gold. I mean, they have electricity, showers, fresh food. It's a place you would like to live at, especially at a time like this. Dr. Mann ends up finding Yorick and directs the town to 355 so she can get some help. We cut back to the Amazons. Again, stop showing me these guys. And they end up finding the people that attacked our group on the train, with Hero interrogating them. And by interrogating, I mean stabbing an arrow through her hand and pointing a gun at her face. But she gets the confirmation that the last man is alive, and it is her brother, so, I mean, a W, I guess. She informs Victoria of this and says that he is really no threat. And Victoria, being the manipulative person she is, punches her, then starts making up stories and pins her against her own brother, convincing her that he is the last poison on Earth. Like, do you not realize without him, the human race is cooked? Where are our brains? A little time jump, and Agent 355 is healthy but dazed. She needs some time to rest. The girl that found Yorick knocked out gets pulled aside, and this lady says, "You haven't told them anything, right? So they're hiding something." Yo, we cannot catch a break, bruh. The two end up going on a walk, and we really start to see the romance building. Yorick almost forgets he has a whole girl in Australia. Like, what are you doing? You made promises. buddy. And then we get Agent 355 saying, yo, Rick, I want you. I get it. She's a little out of it, like high from all the amnesia or something. But what type of love triangle is happening right now? Yorick and this lady starts getting a little freaky, and I really don't want to read this. And after that little moment they share, she says, you're too good for me, and then just tells the entire secret. Everyone in the town is escaped convicts, convicted of murder, tax fraud, selling drugs. And she just asks Yorick to keep it a secret, saying they are all changed. He did not keep the secret. And he goes around asking everybody what they've done. And this guy is low-key crashing out. But I can't lie, he's bugging. They kind of seem genuine. But just as they were settling their differences, the Amazons finally caught up with them. And boy, we are in for a showdown and a reunion. Yorick comes up like, yo, sister, how you been? I missed you. How's the kids? And she just nails him in the face. And he's like, nah, she's just playing, man. She's just playing. I'm sorry to break it to you, Yorick. I don't think she's playing. First thing Hero does is call him out on cheating, and then Victoria is having some kind of main character syndrome. She's basically saying men suck, and Yorick needs to die. And honestly, he might be cooked. Our girl Agent 355 is still out of commission, and she don't play until next week. But the woman of the town does not fall for this talk no jutsu and stands their ground protecting Yorick. See what I mean? And just a second ago you were hating on them. They all try to come up with a plan to just find out there really is no plan, and they just have to try to talk their way out of this. Yorick, believing he might die, kisses Sonya one more time, and he goes out there. Hero is different than what he remembers and is trying to beat him up. Victoria comes up and calls him a rapist and exploiter, things he's never done, by the way. This is the first time they met. I don't know what she's talking about. And Victoria points the gun at our boy, and the gun clicks, and we see a thunk, but Yorick is alive. And then the very next page, we see Victoria standing with an axe halfway out of her skull and asks Sonya through. The goat. But Hero shoots her in the heart, and she dies in Yorick's arms, not even finishing her final words. At this point, Yorick doesn't even see his sister as a sibling anymore. She is pure evil, and I agree. And Yorick points the gun at her, but he can't do it. He can't stoop to the lows of scum like Hero. He suggests to send the Amazons to the jail these women escaped from and throw the key away, letting them rot. Now we get a random cut to the Israels, and if you don't remember, they burned down a laboratory in Boston, the lab they were going to use as a cloning station. But these guys should have never known Yorick was there unless someone was telling them. And my guess was Agent 355 last video, but boy, I was wrong. We get a sneak peek, and it might be the congresswoman who is Yorick's mother. What kind of messed up family is this? And before we really see who that is, we see Hero in jail, and she is throwing up a key, a trick she learned from Yorick. All the while, Yorick and the gang is getting set up to keep pushing west, and that's the end. Not. Hold up. We get a cut to space, and there are two men, and they are making a plan to go back to Earth. So Yorick is not the last man on Earth. Well, he is, but also he's not. Anyways, that's the end of Volume 2. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for Part 3, and buy my comics. Follow the gram. Peace.